We are live on YouTube. I do apologise about the messy bed in the background. I've not been staying here for a few days, and I've kind of only just come back today. And I sort of was in a little bit of a rush when I went away, and I just didn't actually get the chance to really sort things out. And then I've sort of come back, and then I've had other things to do. So sort of like, I guess making the bed was kind of like the last thing on my mind, really. Um, but yeah, so welcome back to another stream. This is just an update stream, just to say like a little bit about what's going down, what's coming up for me. Reminder of my first booking of the year is actually this Friday, and I actually cannot wait for it, and stuff like that. Um, but before we do get into this stream, and before we do get into about what's going to be happening and what's coming up for me, I just want to give a massive shout out to my brother, my partner in crime. I just want to give a massive shout out to the Layman. Now, the Layman has been absolutely smashing it at the moment. He's been dominating it, and he's just been doing so well. And there's one thing that I really love in my life, and that is to see a good friend of mine succeed, and to see him absolutely loving life. And he absolutely smashed 2021, going to events, taking pictures, and he's just become such a lovable person in a lot of different genres in the music scene, a lot of different scenes, and goes to a lot of events, and he just becomes like almost like the highlight of the event, you know. And some people really just hope that he comes to this event so they can chill with him. But no, I just want to say a massive shout out and a massive respect to the Layman, because he's been smashing it, like I say. And not only that, he's helped me massively with my music. He's jumped on projects with me. He's done live streams with me, which, by the way, we are going to be doing a live again soon. So keep your eyes peeled. We have been talking about doing one. It's just we get so busy, and there's so many things we want to do. We don't always have time to do the things we want to do. But we are going to jump on a live, trust me. And he'll be back hosting. I'll be back spinning the tunes, and we'll just have a good happy hour of music, and you know we'll read you all out in the chat room. But yeah, I just wanted to shout him out massively, because he's helped me with loads of things, projects, musically wise. We've kind of like helped each other as well. If I've had a booking, I've taken him with me, and I've gotten him into that booking, and then he's sort of like been asked to go back and go in with his camera, and now he's coming on to some really good things. So I'm fantastically just proud and pleased to say that the Layman's my friend, and he's going to keep smashing it this year. So this Friday for myself, we kick off my first booking of the year, and it's not my last, trust me. And I don't even know what's happened to myself lately, really. The music has just blown, and it's just doing so well. And I'm getting a lot of chances and opportunities that I'm very grateful for, MCing and DJing. And this Friday is my first gig of the year, kicking things off on at the microphone with DNA Hardcore. So Shameless is the founder. He runs DNA, and it's actually his birthday himself. And he's put a DNA hard on, and he's putting this belting night on full of hard pounding music. So if you don't like your really heavy stuff, if you can't handle your raw style and your Frenchcore, then this is not the event for you. However, it might be the event for you, because upstairs is a really nice up and comers competition hardcore room, and I'm quite sort of buzzed about this room, because it's gone quite well, and I'm looking forward to it. And basically, to cut the story short, this year is going to mark 10 years of DNA, which is mad to think, and I'm grateful to have been a part of a couple of their events so far, and obviously this one, and hopefully more in the future. But they're marking 10 years. They've been running since 2012, and 2022 is this year, which marks their 10th year. So they put a little competition up online, and to cut the story short, if you get through to the finals, you play on Friday night in the second room of this DNA night, and the winner will play at the 10th birthday, which is going to be a massive event. They're planning some big things for it, and if you win this competition, like I say, you'll be a part of the 10th birthday. You'll play, I believe, in the main room, and you'll play on the 10th birthday. So quite a few people entered. Obviously, I'm quite well in there with the DNA family. Yes, what's going on? So obviously I got booked to MC anyway. So when there was a competition, I obviously shared it, and some Hull people thought they'd have a go and jump on it, which was a really nice thing to see. And 3 people from Hull have actually got into this finals. So it's kind of, this event has kind of a little bit almost like a Hull takeover, if you like, because we've got myself on the mic. We've got the layman hosting. We're both from Hull. There's DJ Overdrive, there's DJ Prime, and there's DJ Healy in the room too. And they're all from Hull. And it's just become like a little Hull takeover. And it's really good to see that Hull can be put on the map like this, because there is a lot of talent in Hull. There's a lot of people that could actually do quite well if they pulled their finger out of the arses. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't want to. Maybe they're happy doing what they do. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm not here to pick and judge at them. But I know people that can mix really well, that could go somewhere if they put effort in. And I know people that, I would have thought, when I saw the competition, I could have thought of a few people, I could have tagged into the contest and thought, have a go, and there was things that just made me think, well, maybe you won't be that interested, or some people just get busy with life and kids, and then they just don't have time to do it, and some people would think they want to do it, but doubt themselves that they aren't good enough, so then they don't do it because they're sort of like, almost like nervousness gets the better of them. But we have a couple of old people coming through, like I said. It's really nice to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that room goes off, and I've been kindly offered, asked if I want to MC in that room as well. So I was kind of like, well, you know what? I actually won't say no, because I'm hosting in the main room, which is the hard stuff, and I do like the hard stuff. I won't lie, but I am a sucker. I do love me good old happy hardcore. So it will be nice to go upstairs and hear this UK and happy hardcore, and it's nice to see some of the locals as well smashing some out of town gigs. DJ Healy on the lineup, for example, I'm just going to give a shout out to her, because she's absolutely smashing it at the moment. She's getting quite a few bookings in different genres of music. She's doing well with trance. She does well with her house music, and she's started to take on a few hardcore bookings, and she's just doing a few different little things, and it's nice to see when people are doing well, especially when you've kind of sort of in some sense seen them grow, seen them from the start, just doing these little small nights, and then you move on and you do some bigger things, and it's just really nice to see. We got DJ Prime, who just a long time in the making, really. I was telling this motherfucker to go and get himself a yes, going out to Lisa. I was telling this person to get himself a setup for ages, and then he finally bit the bullet. He got a second-hand one, I think, but he bit the bullet, and he's been doing some lives at home, and he hasn't been relying on push biking to someone else's house. Story about this guy, by the way. Not long before I moved into Hull, when I still lived in Drift, we arranged to link for a mix. It was the first time we were going to link for a mix at my house. And, me all thinking, yeah, he's coming from Hull to Drift. It's all good. He's going to push bike. He's going to get a train, sorry. So then I was like, just out of curiosity, I texted him on the Sunday. I said, "You still coming on the Monday?" Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, mate, I'm going to come down. I'm like, "Oh, sweet, what time you coming? What time you coming? What time you getting the train?" And he was like, "I'm not. I'm going to push bike it." And he was like, "I train for football. I push bike quite a lot. It's not that far, really. Blah, blah, blah." So anyway, it gets to Monday. I'm up quite early because I'm a little excited. He's coming over. When I lived in Drift, not many people came round for a mix, so it was something new for me to have someone coming round for a mix. Anyway, Hull to Driftfield is about 21 miles, and me, it got to about Cranswick, which it's not far from Drift. It's probably about, I don't know, it's probably about 4 miles from Drift. So he's about 3-4 miles off. He rings me up and he's absolutely out of puff. He's out of breath. He's absolutely shattered. I've never heard anybody so out of breath in all of my life. And bearing in mind that this guy has to push bike home as well after the mix. So he finally arrives at my house. This would probably be about 1 in the afternoon, and literally he's out of breath. My nan kindly offers him a drink and a sandwich, but he gets his breath back, and then we get mixing and we get push biking. We get mixing. I get MC and he gets to doing all the mixing he does, and then I mix for a bit, and then finally, cutting the story short, gets to night time. It starts getting a little bit dusk, and he's ready to head back home. So my granddad kindly says, "Well, look, we'll take you as far as Hull, and then if you just push bike, from Tesco's at Beverley Road, if you just push bike back home, blah blah blah, then you haven't actually got to push bike in the dark from Driffield to Hull, all them country roads and stuff." So, but he's fine. He finally got his own decks. He's just been absolutely ripping up the live streams and stuff. He's been doing quite well. Bear with me a sec. Oh, pardon. And then we've got Overdrive, who's done bits in hardcore for years. He's got his own label. I don't really need to introduce this guy that much. I mean, he's done a lot of things. He's released a lot of tunes. He's made some bangers, and he's a good friend of mine. And it's just nice to see somebody that's actually pushing through again, and doing something out of town and stuff. And we're gonna have a sort of like a fun weekend of it, which is what I'm looking forward to as well. It's the fact that some of these people that I've sort of met at DNA, and I've sort of become good friends with them. I'm able to introduce some of my other friends to them and just say, "Look, this is so and so," and we're all just going to have a laugh and enjoy the night, and that's what it's all about. Oh, jeez, right, bear with me. I'm gonna have to. I'm staying with you. I'm gonna have to move and sit down on the floor because I've got to plug my phone charger back in, because we've decided that the battery's gonna get low, but we should be on charge now. Actually, can I put this somewhere a little higher up? Can I? Are you gonna really allow me? Yeah, it's gonna allow me. The wire's not the longest. I went to stay at my grandparents for a couple of days. I went over the weekend. Came back today because I've got a few things on tomorrow, so I had to come back. Anyway, me being a clown, I left my phone charger plugged in a plug socket at my nan's house, and then basically I also literally did the most stupidest thing ever, and left my pair of Bluetooth headphones in the van, which was a real gutting thing to do, because literally I had them on the journey. I was listening to music on the way, and to cut the story short, I basically we got out into shopping centre St Stephen's, and when I got back in the van, I'd sort of finished listening to my music, so I put them on the dashboard of the van just till we drove home. I thought it's not far now; it's only really round the corner. So I get home. And then I get like taking some stuff out the back of the van, me rucksack with my clothes in, and blah blah blah. And then I get talking to them and saying bye. And then next thing you know, I've actually gone and I've actually left them in the on the dashboard of the van. So there we go. Noble used to love your raves in the shed. Do you know what? I was only thinking about this the other day because my friend Overdrive, he's got like a summer house in his garden, and he's just doing a few bits and like converting it into like a little studio, and it was getting me thinking, like, do you know what? I actually loved my shed. Like, I actually loved my shed. And do you know what? I'm not going to lie, right? We've come into this sort of like 2022, and I'm not going to lie, I actually really miss the shed. Like, I miss it so much. Like, I do bits and bobs in this room, but you know when it just doesn't feel the same. Um, and part of me, right, as daft as this sounds, like, I wish I could have sort of just picked up the, like, my, almost like my lifestyle back in Drift and moved it over to Hull. You know, like, I wish I had the shed here in Hull. Do you know what I mean? But for one, it wouldn't have fitted in our garden. Two, it would have just cost far too much to even get it like transported over to Hull. But it was just one of them things that was kind of like, do you know what? I miss it so much because it was just like that little place. It was that little studio place where you could just literally, you could just go and chill out. And you had your own little area to do your own music, and the shed itself, it was bigger than this room actually. Actually no, probably about the same size actually. Um, maybe just a tiny bit smaller, but the whole room was dedicated to music. So, like, for example, I wouldn't have a bed taking up the area. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't a cupboard with a boiler taking up the space. So it's just one of them little shit little things, um, but yeah, I could just get away from, if someone was watching telly in the house, I'm not upstairs in my room disturbing them with music, and most certainly I wasn't as limited to sound as I am now. Like, I've got to limit sort of like volume I can have the music, because the shed, it was down the bottom of a garden. Although I couldn't have it like absolutely mega blasting, I could have it a bit louder than I could have it here. And it was my own space to get stuff done, and it's almost like it just doesn't feel that good in here. But sometimes you've got to work with what you can work with, and I do want to redo this room this year. It's something that it's something that has really been getting on my mind. That I would love to just like carpet this place, new computer desk, and just really start doing a few little bits at a time. Nice coat of paint, just really fixing a few things up, and really giving it a good go. Do you know what I mean? And just absolutely smashing it out, and just making something that looks real nice and feels more like my own place. Do you know what I mean? Feels more like my own room. Because the walls are very like a colour that I'm not even really that keen on, and I would really love to just have like a really nice sort of little feel and design to this room, and I'd love to really do some stuff to it. So I'm thinking about it. I've got some ideas in my mind. So I want a nice little blind for the window. There's like almost like a little lip that goes around the whole entire room. I would love to put some LED strips there, but I don't know if it'll work or not. The roof is quite high, so I'd have to like look into that. It's something that I actually wouldn't mind doing. The light fitting is definitely something I'd want to change and get something that looks a little bit cooler and snazzy. And I'd love to just really do some like cool things in here. But we'll just have to see what goes down. You never know. What could happen. But personally, it would be nice to do this room a nice colour and do it some justice, and have something that looks nice when you walk into it, stuff like that. But anyway, I think we've sort of like sidetracked it here about raves in the shed. So DNA is this Friday. So that's on Friday. I think, does it start? I can't remember when it starts. Oh my god. I want to say 9 o'clock. I want to say 9 o'clock, but I'm not certain. And I'm thinking, is it 9? Or does it start a little earlier? Because I know it's a bit more of a bigger night, this, because there's 2 rooms. And I'm just trying to think when it starts. I think it starts at 9 still. But anyway, cutting the story short, it's this Friday. So that's good. Then the following weekend, I've got nothing on. It's a break. I've got a break. So a break is really good. A break is nice for me. However, I have sort of only just, come off of like a long Christmas break. But yeah, I've got nothing on. So there's nothing on the week after. And then the following week after that, I'm back with Stomping. It's Stomping's 3rd birthday. And we've got a mighty lineup of just, some local talent and some other bits and bobs on the lineup. And we've got some really good things happening at Stomping. And, it's going to be a banging night. So I'm looking forward to playing the Room 2 again. I like playing the Room 2, actually. It's quite fun to do. It's like I'm just down there in the Room 2. And I'm just playing my own little vibe down there. And it's really good. It actually really is. I've done 2 sets down there now, and I've just both really enjoyed them. But I am looking forward to the next sort of Stomping, because I've got some belting tunes in line, and I'm taking a few tips from my previous sets and doing a few different things, through what I've just sort of seen and observed, and hopefully, what I do will make my set just go down a treat, and it'll get people sort of like hooked to sort of coming over and having a little bit of a look, what's this guy playing, and I love this song, sing along to it, blah blah blah. That's the sort of thing that I'm going for. I'm gonna try and go a little bit more well known with this next set, so like some vocals that people can sing along to. Because who doesn't love a good sing-song? Especially when a classic comes on that you've not heard in ages. There was one that I actually just downloaded a new remix that come out on Cheeky Tracks and Bounce Heaven last week. And I bought it from the Bounce Heaven store on Friday. And it's a belter of a tune. And when you just hear that classic vocal and you can't help but sing. No matter what happens, it comes on and you just sing it, and something just makes you sing it every time. And it was just something that I hadn't heard it for a while, and I just thought, fucking hell, that's a classic. I just thought, holy smokes, and it actually isn't a bad remix either. So I was a little bit like, do you know what, I love this, I really like this. So you're right, it starts at 9 p.m. Yes, good old 9. So anyway, I believe I'm on 2nd set of the night downstairs, and then I'm on about midnight upstairs. So you've got 2 sets of me on the mic, so if you want to come down, get yourself down. Trust me, get yourself down. 30 artists on the lineup in total. So yeah, so I sang to it, but yeah, so with the Stomping set, I'm going to put a few songs in there that people can sing along to. I've got some good remixes and bootlegs to drop, so all I'm going to say is keep an eye out, because it's going to be one hell of a belting set, and I'm going to absolutely tear the roof off. I'm not sure what my set time is yet down there, but I've got ideas of songs I'm going to play. I had a set put together, and then I sort of my record box fucked up and a few different things. So I just sort of thought to myself, I'm going to change the set a little bit, and depending on sort of what my set time is will depend on like what sort of tunes I play. But I've got the idea of the sort of style of the set that I want to play, and I've got some, you know, like I say, I want to kind of go sing alongy, but I'm gonna sort of vary that on sort of what time I'm playing. If you know, I want to sort of play these sing along tunes if there's, you know, if I think it's going to be a good time to play them. Whereas if I'm just sort of like doing the warm up set, then you know I can just sort of throw in sort of me sort of like me sort of non-less vocally stuff, you know, with maybe just a few vocals. But you know, we play it by ear, set time, etc. So then after that, nothing. I've got at the moment I've got an absolutely clear February. There's nothing in February at the moment. It's not to say that there won't be. There could be something in February. Who knows? I'm looking forward to finding out. But February at the moment is a clear February. I'll probably be going to some events with the layman, just helping out with the you know, with taking pictures and stuff like that, as I like to do. And you know, that'll be all gravy. Probably a few things in there, and then March. Do I really say about March? I'm not going to say about March actually. All I'm going to say is I've got a booking in March, and well, it's a pretty big booking. It's massive. It's really massive for me. It's big for me. But if I even narrowed it down to the date, there's people that would put two and two together. And if people put two and two together, I don't want to get in trouble for announcing stuff that I can't announce. So all I'm going to say is I've been asked to do a date in February, in March. That's all I can say. I've obviously said yes. I think it's going to be quite big, but that's all I know. That's all I know. That's all you're going to know. So we'll just take it from there. And then April, I am down in Birmingham with the Core Vibes on, I believe, the 6th. Oh, no, the 2nd. It's the 2nd. So the 2nd of April, I'm actually down with the Core Vibes. And we're going to be ripping up the Core Vibes. And I'm going to be MCing. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm on 2 sets. So that's going to be quite good. And then on the 23rd of April, I've another booking. And again, this is another big one as well. This is something massive that, again, I can't say too much about it just yet. But if it actually pulls and plays off, it's going to be quite good. It's going to be absolutely belting. And what I know so far is we have a confirmed lineup, and there's like a headliner in the pipeline, but it's not completely confirmed yet. But all the other DJs, they have more or less been confirmed. So I'm looking forward to it really. But you know, we'll see how it goes. We shall see how it goes, and then after that, it's a little bit far into the year, isn't it? There's April, May, nothing really in May. But I know there's like things that will like return, like nights that are already happening. You know, they'll return for another night, and I'll get asked to do a few. Like I say, there'll be a big DNA 10th birthday. I might be a part of that. I might be hosting. Might be DJing. Who knows? Keep your eyes peeled on that one. Like I say, stompings. There'll be more stompings. Whether I'm a part of them or not, that's just something that I'll tell you at the time if I am. I do love playing for Stomping. I do love my Stomping family. It's like home to me. Dave Fallows, I've got to give him a massive shout out. He gave me my first ever booking in a nightclub. I really love. I do really want to say first booking of all time, but sadly he got beaten by someone who booked me to MC at the Driffield Rugby Club in 2017, and although I was very thankful and fortunate for the gig, it was, you know, it's definitely like, when I look back now, it's not the type of thing that I really want to be doing. Just put it that way. It was almost kind of like, you know, when you book a singer, you know, when you book almost like you know, like an Elvis impersonator. It was kind of like that. That's sort of what it was like. It was like booking an Elvis impersonator, and literally, you know, I came on. I emceed to about 4 different songs in between a band and an Elvis impersonator, and then I just literally, boom, that was it. And to be honest with you, like looking back now, that's not the kind of MC that I want to be. I want to host sets, not really be known for like Pacific tracks in general when it comes to MCing. So that's why I don't tie bars down to Pacific songs. So if like a track comes on, I'll just spit any bars to it. Like, you know, if I spit a bar that I spat over a different backing track years ago, you know, doesn't mean I can't spit them bars again. Do you know what I mean? So I like to do that really. For example, like the neighbour's arse. The neighbour's arse was something that, you know, it was a tune that blew up, but the backing tune I did on that video back then, I don't tie them lyrics down to that backing tune. So any beat can come on, and if I want to spit them bars, I'll spit them. Same with the Job Centre. You know, the Job Centre, I just say it over any song. And same with a lot of my others as well. I did a song years back called One Bed Flat back in 2015. It was like my first sort of song that really blew up. But, you know, I don't tie it down to the game, this is how we do instrumental. However, it is sort of almost like the tune that fits them bars. But it was a really good little tune, was that actually. It'd be really good to like go back and redo them again. I haven't done that tune in so long. Into the club, place going crazy. Walked over to the bar, said, "Excuse me, lady. Now before I start, just let me say, I've seen women in my dipper. She got me amazed with a fine little body and a sexy waist. A pretty little face about to take place. So I got 2 drinks and we had a chat. Told me she was living in a 1-bed flat. So I told her that I did a bit of rapping. She said, oh my MC Noble, who strayed away. I was in it to win it, so I played it nice. Drinks were cold as ice. Up on the dance floor, it was 3:30, doors closed before. So I said to the bloke, what's going on? I said, back to my house, we session till dawn. And that was it. I took it from inspiration from a Pat Flynn song. And back then, and it just did really well. I thought I like my own version of it, and it was like almost like a cover version. But I called the track "One Bed Flat," and yeah, it was good. It was good. But I might do some more. I might do something with that, you know. Definitely, I might do some stuff with that. You know, some. I might even maybe do like a. I might even maybe do like a little donk edit. Told me she was living in a 1-bed flat. Yo, up. You know how it goes. Might do something like that, to be honest with you. Do. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. But there we go. So you know, I could be back with some returning brands. I do know that there is going to be another Bounce to Your Drop. I don't know when. I know there's nothing in the pipeline at the moment, you know, which I see what they're doing, and I know they like to hold off, and I know like when there's an event happening, they like to get things as right as they can get them, and I know that you know, they like to have a night of theirs like well promoted, so they like to well promote a night. And I know they like things, like I say, to go right. So, you know, for example, like they don't put a night on for the sake of putting a night on. Do you know what I mean? So everything gets more or less done right. And at the moment, it's just, for them, it's not the right time to put one on. You know, they're busy outside of running the events, as I got told. So, you know, all we can do is wait. But all I'm saying is there is going to be another one. Trust me. And all I can say is keep your eyes peeled. I'll update you if I'm a part of them or not. But as you know, like I do have nothing but pure love for the brand, and I will support them as much as I can. To be honest, I will support them. I will support them from. I will support them from to the moon and back. And there's a reason why I'll do that. And I have not really said it in streams before, but they actually gave me my first paid booking. And like when you push your music for so long, and then you start getting bookings, and you bust to get booked, but you do them for free because obviously you're starting to get somewhere, and you're doing quite well. But then you start coming into that issue. I've done quite a lot of them for free now, and it's costing me to come to these places. And then you go somewhere like there, and they give you your first sort of official paid booking where you get a bit of money for doing what you do, and then it lifts your spirit up, especially like when there's no better feeling than like walking into like a food place, or walking into a shop, or coming home and taking notes out of your wallet and knowing that you've earned that through doing something that you love. And believe you and me, the music's not just all about money for me. It never has been, and it never will. But at the same time, I can't skimp myself for years. And if I'm helping people out a lot, like for example, as I'm sure you would have seen on Facebook if you. I left Alliance Dance Events. I was a resident MC for them for 2 years, and there was a few things that just weren't happening, and things that weren't right for me, and some of it was regarding money. And like I say, I'm not in the game to rip people off. I'm not in the game just to make a killing. There'll never be a time where I put money before the music, if that makes sense. However, I don't want to be ripped off myself. So if I'm supporting something for years, the least I do expect is, to get a little something in return. Obviously I'm buzzed to be booked for them, but when you travel, and sometimes you stay over, and you pay for hotels, and you pay for food, and you pay for drinks, and you're sort of boosting their brand at the end of the day. Sometimes it's nice just to maybe get your fuel money paid. So I'm a little bit like, I don't ask to be, I don't ask, for people to give me like, absolutely tons of money, but I do, like I say, I do, as a matter of fact, I do like to be, I do like to be, what's the word? Like, I do like to at least be just appreciated. So, like I say, if I just get my fuel money paid for, maybe a couple of drinks bought on the night, that really does happily, solidly do me if they just come up to me at the end of the night and say, here, look, here's an envelope, a bit of cash in there for your time and your trouble. Well, not really trouble, but, you've come, you've supported, you played an amazing set, blah, blah, blah. And that's what the Bounce Night do. And this is why I support them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, yeah, exactly. It's about, yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So with Alliance, I'd been with them for 2 years. Obviously, they gave me my first residency. They gave me my first sort of few bookings. Well, they gave me my second ever nightclub booking, and then my third ever nightclub booking. And anyway, the point being is I did a couple of gigs with them. I didn't charge them because I'm up and coming. It was giving me a bit of exposure. And then we went into lockdown, and I was like, do you know what? It's gutting for them. Events got cancelled. Then the nightclubs opened, and they put a night on, and I thought, well, we've just been through COVID and stuff, so I can't be a cunt, and I can't really, ask to charge them when we've just gone through all this, and, they've got to get the night back out there after, we've just sort of come out of a lockdown. So I was kind of like, yeah, I don't want anything for it, blah, blah, blah. And then they was going to put one on in a couple of weeks, 28th of January, and I kind of just looked at it and I thought, well, you know what, I actually want at least my fuel money sorting for this one. So I was in the talks of sort of like asking them. I was like, look, is there any way, you could just sort my fuel money out? Can you just help me out a bit for coming, blah, blah, blah. And then the event actually it was cancelled and scrapped anyway. Never ended up going ahead. So it's not going to go ahead. But I decided to leave the brand just because there was a few things that just weren't working for me anymore. And they weren't really like focusing too well on the brand either. As I know the guy who was running the brand, he had a lot of he's had issues going on in his own real life. So there was no hard feelings, sound guy, big love to Sean Davey. Who knows, I might be back with him at some point in the future. He is going to bring back Alliance bigger and better, and he is going to learn, hopefully, from a lot of mistakes that the brand has made. It was a brand that has potential, but it's just lacking in a lot of ways, and it needs some sort of boost to come back bigger and stronger. And it's not something I want to put my effort into help, because I'm so busy doing other things. If I wasn't as busy, and he'd come up to me and said, look, we can run this brand together, will you help me, will you get some put into place, blah blah blah. I would have tried to help him out, but I just get so busy with my own stuff that I just thought, well, do you know what? I haven't really got the time, kind of thing. But it's just the way it goes. So, but yeah. But like I say, I'm not in it for the music. I just genuinely, don't like to be ripped off. So, I ask, if I can just get help in a little way with like fuel money and stuff like that. To the point now where I do charge, but I don't charge to be a cunt, and I don't want people to ever think that he's just getting too big headed and he thinks he can make a killing now, because that's not it. I just don't want to be out of pocket when I'm travelling, because I travel quite far, like down to Leicester and stuff. I go across to some other places as well, and it's it can cost quite a bit when you go there and you eat food, and sometimes you stay over, and you just need that bit of help sometimes. So it's nice just to get it. But yeah, other than that, as far as like gigging wise goes, the All Aspects of Rave podcast is going to be coming very soon. I've got ideas to start that off very soon, and just keep an eye out for other things. That's going to do it for this stream. We've gone on for 42 minutes, can you believe it? It's like 10 to midnight. Whew, I've got an appointment tomorrow, so I don't want to be too late to bed. Although it's not until in the afternoon. I just know that I'm probably going to sleep tonight because, I was, like I say, I was away for a couple of days at my nan's. My dad and his girlfriend, if you like, I think they've had a little bit of a Barney. So he's gone back to my nan and granddad's to stay. I obviously moved here to Hull, so there's like the bedroom was spare and free. So when I came, noble son, you're keeping on the sofa. But in all fairness, it was a really nice sofa. It was very, very comfy. The only issue I would say I would have wasn't really anything personally to do with the sofa. But has anybody ever had that sort of like awful, where you've been sat for too long? I don't know if you've ever had it before, but where you actually sit for that long that it just becomes uncomfy, and you actually ache a bit, and you feel like you need to stand up, and you feel like you feel like that. Well, yesterday I felt like that. So I went into town, we had a little bit of shopping to do, we came back home, we had some dinner, and the afternoon I sort of sat most of the afternoon, I watched a bit of telly, blah blah blah, and then we had our tea, so I got up and moved to the dining table, and then after tea I got sat back down and watched telly for the evening, and by the time it got to like 9:30, probably a bit before, I was starting to feel a bit uncomfy, my arse was getting a bit sore, and I just felt a little bit sort of not really felt too good. I just felt almost a little bit like, you know, like I needed to like move or do something, because I'd just been sat for over long. And then by the time it came to me laying out and going to sleep on the sofa, I actually just could not get settled. I just felt so uncomfy. I just felt absolutely shocking, and there was just, you know, I just honestly like just could not settle for ages. I was tired, but it was like I couldn't settle. I couldn't get laid, I couldn't get comfy, and then I did finally shut off quite late, and then when it came to morning, I was like absolutely. I could have like gone back to sleep, but I had to get up because obviously we were travelling back here, and sadly it was a funeral today that I watched online. Sadly, a good friend of mine sadly passed away just before Christmas, and I couldn't unfortunately make the funeral, but there was a link online for a lot of people to watch it who couldn't make it, as she was a well liked person within the rave community. So it was a really good send off, and it's such a shame that she's gone. But I know she'll be looking down on us. She'll be proud of us all getting our bookings and, you know, smashing our 2022. Sadly, just, you know, gone too soon, gone but not forgotten. But yeah, I was just absolutely shattered this morning, and I really didn't want to move, even though I like had to move, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I am going to cut this one here. Make sure to like, comment, share. We'll see you next time.